Hello adventurers and welcome back to my channel. I am about to hit the road and I was kind of doing some last minute checks, and along the way I discovered something. Apparently the washer has been eating some of my socks, either that or the dryer. I'm not sure, but either way, I noticed that I have less socks to pack this trip than I did the previous trip. So I could solve this problem by going and buying some more socks, or I could solve this in a way that might help me out in the long term. Instead of purchasing socks after socks after socks, being able to launder my socks a little bit more frequently would make less socks make more sense. And so I was kind of looking at, how can I do that while I'm traveling? So I went on to the magical world of YouTube and I found a few things that were very expensive. In fact, there are a few items that you can purchase as a van lifer that will help you to wash your clothes. And all of those seemed very nice, but highly illogical for me to, one, have the space for and only 35 square feet, or two, want to spend $60 to $70 on. So I kind of had some creative thoughts, and as a result of that, I found a way that I can make my own version of something that I saw. In fact, there's a product that you might have seen online many times that you can wash your clothes in what looks to be a dry bag. The difference is it has these little nodules inside that are supposed to agitate the wash, so ultimately you get things clean. Now, that sounds like a good idea, but again, $60 or $70 just to be able to agitate things? I think I can do better, and you're gonna witness this today, and if it works out, maybe you can do this too. Right here I have three different items that I already had one of, well, technically two of, but then I purchased these. So I have a very thick, heavy-duty dry bag. I have one Tide Pod because I can only use Tide for my sensitive skin, and I found some dryer balls that have these little knobs all over them. Now this 2-pack was only $2, believe it or not. And so for this entire thing, the investment is just these for me. Now, if you're doing this at home and you don't have the dry bag, I found this dry bag at Walmart in a pack of 3. They were like $10 for 3 of them. They're just a little bit smaller. And this, of course, comes in a big pack of a whole bunch of them. 3 items, no big deal. Now, all I need to do is put these 3 items together with something that is dirty. Because I'm wondering if I can spare myself some socks, I have a pair of socks to use today. Now I'm gonna take my dry bag and I'm first just gonna put my little socks in here. Again, this isn't something that I'm gonna use every day, but after hiking around and stuff like that, sometimes when I get low on socks, it would be nice just to be able to do the socks. I carry enough clothes to not have to do my laundry as frequently, but socks, well, first and foremost, they're one of your smellier items because they're in your shoes and you're moving around and they're not able to breathe. So normally I mitigate that by putting them in my laundry bag and then spraying Febreze or putting some of those little fabric softener beads that make everything smell better just in a sachet in there. However, this will keep it from having any of those weirdnesses and also spare me from having to spend some extra money on something that ultimately might get lost again. So I've got my socks in the dry bag, and then I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna pop out all of the edges, and that's gonna allow it to be nice and open. I'm going to take one of these little dryer bowls and throw it inside, and I'm gonna take one of these. Now normally I would just put a little tiny bit of the liquid Tide in there. Unfortunately right now, for the purpose of this, I don't have any, so I'm using what I have. If this works out, I'm going to find a very small thing of liquid Tide. But for the time being, worst case scenario, we're gonna try it out, and if it doesn't work and it's just like an error with the Tide Pod, I'll know that I have to correct it. However, now it's time for us to put some water in here. Now from what I was watching on the videos, they were filling up the bag to about here with the water on small loads. Hoses in, turning it on. And I'll just kind of have to eyeball this because it's kind of dark in there. And now I'm going to roll it down nice and tight. I'm going to leave the air kind of in it a little bit, but pull some of it out so it's not excessive. And then I'm going to go ahead and tighten it some more. And tighten it down as far as I feel comfortable with. So I'd probably tighten it to here for just the couple pairs of socks that are in there. And then I'm going to take this and I'm going to loop it to the back. And this one's pretty firm, but it's going to click right into place like this. And now the time is here where I get to have a party. I'm just going to shake this back and forth and really just agitate it for about 3 minutes so that I can get that ball to move it around. I can also kind of roll through it. This will be my workout on the days that I decide to do laundry, I guess. Let's shake, shake, shake until I can't shake anymore. Workout, 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 workout. No water spilling. I'm even going to turn it upside down. Is any water spilling? Nope. That's pretty cool. I do feel the agitator ball just kind of moving around. And then as I go, getting tired. I'm getting tired. This is kind of a weird motion. So maybe we do long strokes like this, and then we do short ones. It'll be like when Riley does dorky dancing only with laundry. Riley, are you dying at dorky dancing?
Yeah, we should come up with a name for it. It's the laundry dance. The laundry dance is
the
like...
laundry bag dance. Here, take a little shake at it. See if you like.
The laundry dance. It's a specialized laundry dance. Laundry dance. It's a specialized laundry dance.
If this works out, you can get one of these too.
Woohoo! Yeah, absolutely. Ooh.
Can you imagine us sitting at a campsite and just shaking and shaking like we're doing a shake weight?
Aren't you supposed to like rub it in too? Like,
I mean, you can, but the laundry ball is agitating it as we're shaking.
is it really even moving?
Yes, I can feel it hitting the walls in there.
Yeah.
Ooh,
It should be good.
it should be. I'm about to drain it because I think it's been like 3 minutes. What do we know though? We're just chaotic, and if we can find a good solution for something, we're all for it. And this one didn't cost literally but $2 for me. It might cost more for you because you might not have the things, but I had the things, and so this is going to be awesome. It is now time for me to look inside though. I am hoping we see suds and happiness. I'm gonna move some things out of the way just in case this thing pops open and has a lot of water in it. Okay, it has been unrolled. This is awesome! Like this fully activated the Tide Pod. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's kind of dark in there, but you can see it's definitely soapy water. It's definitely changed colors. The agitator's in there going good. So now it's time for me to drain, which I would do at a campsite that has proper drainage. It would be like gray water. So I'm just gonna drain it down the sink because it's safe there. Never put things in areas that they shouldn't go. Now at this point, I have two options. I can either rinse these out by hand, fair, or I can put clean water in here and do 2 cycles of rinse. So the socks themselves are definitely soaking wet, definitely soapy, as they should be. I put a whole Tide Pod in here. So if I was to rinse these out by hand, I could do that a couple different ways. I could pop them into my sink and I could just run some water and rinse and wring and rinse and wring, which isn't a big deal because it's just a sock. Or I could go back into the bag, pull out my little agitator, and then I could put some clean water in here and do this a couple times, which is what we're gonna do today and probably what I'll do in the van. So I'm just gonna put a tiny bit of water in there, and then I'm going to go in and kind of do the same thing I did before, but not close it all the way. And that's gonna be like my rinse cycle. There might be some soap still in the bag, so this is why I'm gonna do it a couple times. And then I pour that out until it goes clear. So I would do this a few times until the water goes clear. So I'm gonna see how long this takes. Okay, I now have clean socks, and these were super soapy socks because I used one whole Tide Pod for literally 2 socks. But I have a few thoughts on this. I think it will work out. I didn't have to use as much water as I thought I would have to use just to get kind of the agitator going. I used very little water on both the rinse out and then also on the wash itself. So I'm kind of thinking that this will work on the road, and it was much less expensive than the big boy. The only difference really is that the big boy has little nodules inside, and then also it has a little drain so you don't have to open the bag. But realistically, it's not that big of a deal to actually open the bag and then just put your hands in there and do the thing that you need to do. I think that this is going to be a good option for not having to, 1, go buy some more socks, until I'm actually ready to, especially hiking socks, but also to get my things clean in a faster amount of time when it comes to like those unmentionable items that we typically carry a few less of anyway. So I'm very intrigued by this, and I know that this could store up in my roof box when I'm not using it. So I just have to figure out now how to like wipe it down on the inside to get it nice and dry. And overall, this could be very valuable. So what I could do is I could take this into Planet Fitness with me, have it all set up already. And then because those drains are safe for me to be able to use with soaps, I could just take in the few things that I need to do, shake them up, clean them up, and then after I've cleaned out the bag and everything, take them out to the van and hang them up. And I have plenty of ways that I can hang them up in the van, everything from a small paracord that I have that I can use magnets for, or I could just flat lay them like I've done so many other things in the van. This is gonna be great, guys, because sometimes it's harder to find a good laundry near where you are, and you just have like one or two things that you just really want to freshen up because you need to wear them or things like that. Or there's some places that you see a mound of socks that people have left behind because one of the washers or dryers has eaten them. And that never makes me feel safe with putting small items in those. So I'm kind of happy. I'm very excited. And being inspired by the things that I've seen on YouTube, I've always learned that if you test things out before you head out, you can make some really cool things. Like this guy right here, this little tiny dry bag that I've carried with me so many times on my adventures just with clothes and other items now has a different use. And that is going to be very exciting. So now I just have to figure out how to get this thing dry, and I think I can just wipe it down with one of my towels, and I can have those lay out because they are quick dry. That is going to be awesome. And also, if I end up spilling something on something that I really like, instead of having to wait to find a laundry, I no longer have to worry about getting stains on clothes, because sometimes when you're out in the outdoors and you're not wearing black, that happens, which has deterred me from wearing a lot of the brighter colors that I've enjoyed wearing, because for some reason the outdoors just attract all sorts of weird things, and it can get exhausting. But now, at least if I'm exhausted, it'll be because I'm working out, washing my clothes. Work out, work out, work out, work out, work out. Remember, guys, we're not here for a long time, but we are here for a good time. Finding meaningful solutions to things that give you a hard time on the road doesn't have to necessarily be something that breaks the bank. It doesn't have to be something that inconveniences you beyond all get out. You can just use things that you already have, or purchase small things instead of the bigger thing and make them work out for you.
Laundry dance. It's a specialized laundry dance.